Hey guys, Mountain here, bringing you part 2 to the farming video. I did end up having to split the video because it was very, very long. Make sure you watch the farming 1 video. It doesn't necessarily have to be watched first, but it will probably make a bit more sense if you do watch it first. I'm going to drop a card at the top over there and a link to it down in the comments below, either the description or the comments. So maybe if you haven't watched it yet, pause this video, open that one in another tab, watch that first, and then come back to this video. Otherwise, let's get on with the discussion. When it comes to RSS and managing RSS, it becomes a little bit tricky to be able to plan everything if you've got, for example, 8 farms on your main account. So what I did is part of the KOA Ultimate document that I created, it had 2 sections or 3 sections technically that is going to help you astronomically in terms of your managing of resources and the managing of your farms. So let's quickly go and have a look at that document. Right, so this is an RSS management page, and I've set it up to auto calculate and everything, but what it does is it gives you your main account over here, these 2 columns, your farm account number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I have been requested to increase more farms, which I shall do in the new update that should be coming out this week or next week, but that's for another video. But this document is available right now, link in the description, the KOA Ultimate Document and Guide. And what happens is you go into each of your farms and you keep a record. Once every 2 days I usually do it. This is the master document, so it's blank at the moment. You don't get to see what I've currently got. But you're going to input what resources you actually have. So let's say in my main account I have open 1.5 million resources at the moment. It'll automatically calculate for me there. And then let's say, for example, I got 5,261 of the 1K food. I push enter, it automatically calculates. Now I'm going to do this for each of my farms as well. And as I say, every 2 days roughly, I just open up the farm on a separate screen or on the phone, and I go through to inventory, I go to resources, and I just quickly update this to whatever has been added or subtracted from there. So I have a constant running total of how much RSS I currently have available on my accounts. This is going to come in handy with 2 sections, which is building upgrades and research planning. Now, building upgrades, this particularly applies to the Lunar Kingdom. I am still in the process of creating the one for Solar because it is extremely different in the pricing. Solar is much cheaper than Lunar is. And I'm talking much, like a tenth of the price. But you don't have things like Warwolf gear and that sort of thing. But in the meantime, you can actually see how it works. So I've got this little section here with a drop down list, and I can say, right, I want to upgrade my stronghold. So in this, for example, Lunar Kingdom, I want to upgrade my stronghold to 42 next, because I'm currently at 40. I select 42 and it tells me how much food, wood, iron, silver, royal badges, noble badges, books of war I need. Obviously, books of war only applies to the Hall of War. Once I've got all of my items inventoried here, it will give me the total, which brings it up to the top over here. And it applies whatever hero reductions I've manually set up. It implies if I've got Warwolf, it will automatically select that for me. If I'm running the reduction event that happens in the Lunar Kingdoms and I select that, it will do it for me. And if I select both, it will do both for me. And then it will give me the total RSS that I actually need. And I can easily see, looking here, or going to research and doing the same thing and setting up my research, but I can see easily looking at my total RSS and then come to RSS available, and I can see in this square how much food I actually have, how much wood I actually have, how much iron I actually have, and how much silver I actually have. So this is going to help you manage your resources and plan ahead for your building upgrades, for your research tasks and things like that. So a very important tool, again, linked down in the description, and it's going to help you immensely with managing your farms and your farm's RSS. The next question I get asked often is, when should I actually take the RSS from my farms? Well, two things to note here. Number one, if your farm is part of your actual main alliance, you might be utilizing your farm in certain events, like portal hunting, for example, or Dragondale if you're in the Solar Kingdoms, or whatever the case might be. In Soleil, attacking a wall, for example, you plan to attack a wall with them, get some points. If you have your farm in the same alliance as you're going to have to drop tags in order to attack your farm. And bringing your farm back into your alliance means that there is a cooldown period of 24 to 48 hours, depending on what it is you're doing. Portal, for example, is 48 hours. Doing other events is most of the time 24 hours. But you're going to have that cooldown period that you won't be able to actually participate in alliance events. So plan ahead and think. Go to your event center, have a look at what is currently happening in your kingdom, and look at the calendar and see what is coming up. I see I've got Netherwall, Fallen Knight, Portal, Royal Arena, and currently Alliance Hunt. I don't particularly worry about Alliance Hunt, because once you're marked in the Alliance, you're marked in Royal Arena, fine. Portal, our next portal is set for the 14th, which gives me 2 days. So technically, I could drop right now, do the farming, and get back in time to participate in the portal, but it's going to be very close. Netherwall, my farms don't go into Netherwall, so that's fine. Fallen Knight event, that's fine too, with a 24-hour period. So I can now drop tags, hit my farm, take those resources, and I can be fine. That's the first thing. So bear in mind, you might be unable to participate in alliance things, so plan ahead. The second thing to take note of is open RSS. When you take RSS from your farms, you're opening bundles that you have stored, and when you attack it with your main account, you're going to be taking those resources, and it's going to be added to the top here, which is your open RSS. Now your troop upkeep is going to eat into that food. You're going to have KBKs and things like that, where potentially people are going to attack you and take your resources. If you've got rogues in the kingdom who are randomly attacking, or if your kingdom isn't at peace yet, you're going to have to be very careful with what resources you have open. So before you attack your farms, plan. Use that KOA Ultimate Document and Guide to see how much resources you need specifically, and only open what you need and take that. Leave the rest in bundles. Otherwise, you're going to have an open set of RSS, which is risky for anybody to take whenever they want to take. Then on top of that, you need to also remember that speed ups are important. And if you got planned, let's say, for example, I could right now jump to SH 31, maybe even 32 with the RSS that I currently have available, but I don't have the speed ups for it. Now, if I don't think ahead, I'm going to hit my farms, take all that open resources to get to Stronghold 32, and then sit with all those resources open, and I can't do anything with it because I don't have the speed ups to actively use them immediately. So once again, plan ahead. Think before you attack, how are you going to utilize the resources that you are going to be obtaining? You can purchase upkeep reducers, which means that you can have it that no resources are taken during upkeep for up to a 7-day period. But that's going to cost you gold, which is a very rare commodity in the game, generally speaking. So plan ahead and be a little bit careful. Then the next question I get asked is, how do you manage all your farms? In my Lunar Kingdom, I used to have 11 accounts in the one alliance, my main and 10 farm accounts, and I was asked, how do you do that with a phone? Is it really viable to do it with a phone? Well, yes and no. Remember that farmer lady I was telling you about earlier? She's got several dozen farm accounts. Yes, I said several dozen. And she has no computer, no laptop. She does it all from her phone. But her farming is specifically catered to logging in, doing their function, and changing to another account, not necessarily doing all the daily stuff that somebody with 2 or 3 farms would end up doing. if you're utilizing a phone only, yeah, be aware that if you're going to do daily stuff on your accounts, again, it's going to take up to 30 minutes on each account, and you have to log into one at a time manually, and it becomes quite difficult. Don't have too many farms if you're only utilizing a mobile device. If you are, however, using BlueStacks or another emulator, it's a very different story. You are able to do more accounts easily with something like BlueStacks, and I'm going to actually show you BlueStacks now. So what we're going to do is let's switch displays so I can show you. Okay, so this is one of my other screens. I've got 3 different screens set up, so at any given time, if I needed to, I could go into 12 different accounts, depending on obviously how you've set up BlueStacks and things like that. But primarily, I concentrate on my solar together, for example, and then my lunar together, for example, or my lunar together, for example, and then solar together. So I try to keep it separate because it's also it's not the easiest to remember always which kingdom you're in, and you're doing something and you go, why did I do that? I need that for the other castle, you know. So it's easier just to do it one set at a time. Now I'm going to be looking that way often because for me, this display I'm showing you is actually over there. So when it comes to BlueStacks, as you can see here, I've got 3 accounts currently open, 3 farm accounts, and on this screen I've got my main account. Now I can easily come through here to this BlueStacks, and I'm just going to stop this for a second, and I can go, okay, I want to go out here and I'm going to go search for resources, for example. I can go out into my map and I can start side scrolling and looking around and find the resources that I am currently looking for, whether it be food, wood, whatever the case might be. So I can look around and I can do it from the laptop. Bear in mind, doing it with BlueStacks is slower than doing it with a phone, but that's because your computer is multitasking, doing multiple instances of this emulation. Emulations always use more resources than the original does, and on top of that, when you've got multiple things open, for example, it does utilize more resources. So make sure you've configured your BlueStacks correctly. I will give you another video soon about how to utilize BlueStacks and all functions of BlueStacks. That's going to help you in the game, but that's for another video. Right. The key thing, though, to BlueStacks is that you've got 2 different versions of BlueStacks that you can use, version 4 and version 5. Version 4 and 5 have one major difference apart. 5 utilizes less computer resources and is faster. 4 has synchronization. So depending on what you're going to be utilizing them for, you might want to have both. I use both. These 3 accounts that you see at the moment that are open here, and whenever I open up multiple accounts like this, I utilize BlueStacks 4 for the synchronize function. On the other hand, this one that you see over here, this is open in BlueStacks 5 because it uses less resources and it actually manages much easier. So I utilize 4 and 5 for very different things. If I'm going to be in my main account in Solar and my main account in Luna, then I'll use version 5 for both of those. And if I'm going to be doing multiple farms, doing some stuff at the same time, I utilize BlueStacks 4. So the synchronize function, let me show you how that works. And it only works on BlueStacks 4. This function is not available in BlueStacks 5. But if you click this little menu at the top here, the 3 lines, you'll see sync options, and you can select which displays to sync to or which games to sync to. In this case, I'm going to sync to all of them, and I say sync. Now it's configured that whatever I do in this screen, it's going to replicate the same thing in the other 2. So here you can see my alliance is looking for assistance. It's looking for 4 people are wanting help. If I click help here, it's actually going to do it for me on all 3 screens. If I go, for example, here now and I click on chests, this one didn't have chests available, so it didn't open for me. But I can now go here and I can click open. And as you can see, it's doing it on the multiple screens for me at the same time because this is my synchronized function. So we're just going to go through this quickly. It will step out every now and then and be slightly out. But that's fine, you can usually easily come back from it. Right, so we close that and I'm back to my normal screen. Now I can utilize this. So for example, let's see, how much stamina have I got everywhere? Okay, so here I do have enough stamina to do a rally quickly. So I'm going to search for a rally quickly, and then I'm going to show you how the synchronization helps you one step further. Okay, so here we've got a level 32, which is currently the highest level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. There's the level 32, okay, and I'm going to get prepared and ready to say rally. I'm going to say set. Now, before I actually click this, I'm going to go back to this screen so you can see what happens. Because I'm synchronizing my displays or my accounts, by clicking on anything in the first one, it's going to automatically do that for the other two. So I can get all three of these farm accounts into the same rally that I am as quickly as if I did one. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to click March. You'll see the pop-up. I say tap to join. It will do it in all three. I say tap to join. It will do it again in all three. If you hit it correctly, okay. And then I say March, and boom, it does it for me in all three. And now if I go back to here, and I go to my rally, and I have a look, I can see, there we go. There I am. There's 1, 2, 3 of my accounts. I see 2 other people have joined in, but I managed to get, oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button. I managed to get all of the farms into the same account, just like into the same rally, just like that. So synchronization is going to help you with things like that as well. I'm going to create another video specifically on BlueStacks, showing you everything that you can do and what other sort of things you can automate and alliance help functions and things like that. But bear in mind, there is a thin line between automating and botting. Botting is against the terms of service because it gives you an unfair advantage against other players. Automating like this is not against terms of service because it doesn't actually give you an unfair advantage. I could have easily have done what I just did now. It would have taken a couple of seconds longer. So bear in mind there is a fine line, but again, we'll discuss that in detail when we do the video all about BlueStacks and how to set it up and utilize it to the best you possibly can. Right, so I've got everything set up like this. BlueStacks 4 again gives me the synchronization that you see on the screen right now. So when I'm using the farms, I use BlueStacks 4. When I'm using my main accounts though, I utilize BlueStacks 5 so that I can maximize out on my computer's resources and get things done as quickly as I possibly can. And you can actually see here, if I just go back, there you can see my BlueStacks 4 set up with all the accounts that I've got, including the beta accounts, the solar accounts, the lunar accounts, everything set up here. And then BlueStacks 5, and I've named them differently so that it's easy for me to understand and remember which one's which at a quick glance. And then here on BlueStacks 5, I've got everything set up as well, good to go. So that's the primary difference between BlueStacks 4 and BlueStacks 5. So I'm definitely going to be splitting this video up into 2. It is a long video. I apologize for that. But this is going to be obviously part 2 of the video. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned anything from it, if it's helped you in any way, please hit the like button down below. Don't forget to drop your comments. I do reply to the comments as fast as I possibly can. And then don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so that you can know whenever I upload a new video. Huge shout out to my Patreon supporters, and my top Patreon supporters of the month being Red, Black, We Free Men, and K. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, guys. You assist me in keeping this channel going and to actually be able to keep producing content. If anybody else wants to support the channel, links to Patreon is down below. I also have PayPal if you don't want to utilize Patreon or do an ongoing sort of thing. Send me a message on Discord. Link for Discord is down below. Send me a message on Discord and I will make sure I get back to you and give you the PayPal details if you want to do any sort of maybe a one-time donation or anything like that. Otherwise, if you want to support the channel in a non-monetary way, liking the video, commenting on the video, subscribing and hitting the bell notification icons are the 4 best ways for you to support this channel absolutely free. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. It means my videos get out there to more KOA players, and more players can actually participate in the events and learn more and grow more and work better together. That's going to be it for this video, guys. I do hope you found it informative and helpful. Again, drop me any comments, message me on Discord if you want to chat about anything. Otherwise, until the next video, guys, be good, be well, and be safe. Bye.